Most Shopify stores are leaking traffic, and here's how to fix your SEO without a single app. Organic search drives roughly 40% of e-commerce site traffic, and being on the top page of Google can snag up to 55% of clicks. And the number one result alone on the first page, about 30%. So that means that SEO might be what you are missing. Let's dig in and see what we can do. Number one, site structure and internal linking, like why this matters. So a logical, crawlable site helps Google index your most important pages and pass authority through your store. The good thing about Shopify is that they already automatically take care of encouraging you, I would say, right, to do your homepage, your collection page, and your product page. Like those are going to be the three main pages that your site will kind of work from. After that, then you just want to make sure that your navigation, your top navigation and your footer navigation have a sort of clear hierarchy, right? You always want to make sure that the logo goes to home, which is automatically usually taken care of by Shopify, and the themes, and then just make sure that you have collections, and then from collections you go to products. So that right there is kind of like check mark, check mark, check mark. You don't have to do a whole lot in there. Now what I do want you to do is go into online store, go to pages, and see all the pages that you have in here. Obviously for us in this example, we have a bunch of different pages. We are a service-based business, and we do have products on our Shopify store, but you do want to make sure that all of these pages here that you've created have some form of link, whether it's the top navigation or the footer navigation. So an easy way to do this is, and obviously like for the majority of you, you'll probably have an about, a contact page in here, maybe an FAQ. You just want to make sure that all these pages in here, whatever you have in here that you're actually using, it's visible, it's active. You just want to make sure that you have a actual dedicated link on your website. So from pages, you just want to make sure that you go into content, menus, and then in here, whether it's your footer menu, your main menu, just making sure that, that about page, we have it connected in here, our contact page, we have it connected in here. And like I said, by default, right? People tend to do the collection pages. Product pages usually go from collection. Again, homepage is taken care of, but it's going to be these additional pages that you want to make sure that they are linked on your site. When it comes to best practices and what we recommend is these about, contact, FAQ pages, leave them on your footer menu and keep all of the links taking you to actual product at the very top navigation. Obviously, there's outliers out there, but general rule of thumb, it's that. Another thing that I want you to do right now, if you haven't done so, is enable breadcrumbs. So depending on your theme, some themes have more features around this than others, but let's go into this theme and see what we have available. Now, the most important placement for this will definitely be your product page. So on this theme that we're using here, Concept, we go to our product page. And again, everything is going to be slightly different. So you definitely want to look into your either product information block or product information section that usually has a bunch of different blocks inside of there. First place that I would look is just right within there, the main settings, just see if there is a toggle to turn on breadcrumbs. If there isn't, then you may want to hover over and add a block within that, and that may have the ability to do breadcrumbs. So this one does right here. So we have breadcrumbs. So breadcrumbs give both users and bots who are constantly crawling your website a clear path on how you got to that particular product page. So it should say the name of the product page, the collection page, and the collections, and then home page. So it should have sort of like the hierarchy of like from the home page all the way up to the product page and that full breakdown. This helps with SEO, and it's something that we definitely recommend doing. The other placement, and again, you definitely want to make sure that you see this on your theme, either collection banner or the actual product grid. And again, just canning through and making sure that you see something like this, like breadcrumbs. So we have the ability to also do breadcrumbs within the collection page. So those two are really going to be the main pages. Obviously, if you have an about page or blog posts, with blog posts is absolutely important to make sure to enable that. But as you can see here, we have the ability to, again, just do that block right within there to do the breadcrumb. If you're using some of the newer themes, you can also just prompt it into Shopify, and it will create that breadcrumbs section for you. So if you're on the new Horizon themes, then you'll have to probably prompt it out in order to get breadcrumbs both on the collection and the actual product page. Something else that I want you to do, and it's super easy, and again, we're all about not having any apps, is adding contextual internal links. So for example, inside of a blog post or a collection description, you can actually link actual pages into that. So if you're talking about, I don't know, summer outfits, right? You can actually manually add, maybe if you have a men's linen shirt, you can add that men's linen shirt into maybe the description of that summer outfits collection. That helps Google essentially understand the flow and the page and what you're talking about within that certain content. So when it comes to, for example, doing it on a collection, let me see if I have, okay, so I don't have a collection description on this one, but let's go back over here. If you go to products, you go to your collections. If you already have some collections already built up, it's just as simple as within the description of the collection, right? If this collection right here, you're talking about, say, summer outfits, you compare your most favorite men's linen shirts and blah, blah, blah. Then that men's linen shirts, right? You can actually grab this text right here and then insert a link within it. You'll have to grab the exact link, right? So if it's a specific product, just grabbing that specific product link and then just adding it in here within this. So that's all we're talking about, internal linking of your website. This type of stuff truly generates, again, it's not necessarily for the customers, more for Google to understand how everything is connected within your site. So anytime that you can add any links like these into the descriptions of the product, descriptions of the collections, or dedicated blog posts, that's going to be very beneficial. Hey, before we move on to the next one, I am Christian Pignon, one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online. We've served over 300 clothing brands in the last year alone. I would appreciate if you like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our latest content. Now let's talk about speed and mobile optimization. Why this matters? Well, slow pages just absolutely kill conversions. So a 1 second delay can reduce conversions by 7 to 15%, and bounce rates nearly triple from 8% to 38% as load times rise. So what can we do? Number one, use a fast theme. I would implore you to please not use any theme outside of the actual theme store. Obviously, if you're building something custom or you're doing a head list, like that's a completely different story. But if you're just starting out, or if you have a plan that's not on the Shopify Plus account, stick with the themes that Shopify give you in their official store. When you install something from either Theme Forest or someone else is uploading a theme into, like the way that those themes are built are not up to Shopify standard. So you are going to run into problems with speed and performance overall. So it's good. My recommendation is to stick with some of the themes that are in the official Shopify theme store. Obviously, the super minimalistic Dawn theme or the Horizon themes are definitely going to load very, very quickly, and that will help out quite significantly. But again, you will have a certain look and feel, right, when you use a very minimalistic theme. You also want to optimize images. So when it comes to images, Shopify does a good job, both actually images and videos. They do a pretty good job of resizing, and their CDN takes care of compressing images for you. There is, from time to time, you have to maybe compress some very large images that you've uploaded into Shopify. But for the most part, everything gets automatically done with Shopify, so you don't have to necessarily worry about it. But in the small scenario that you do have to compress any images, my go-to is bulk resize photos. So I could just go to bulk resize photos, and then right within here, I can just upload my image. I can upload multiple images, and then I like to do the file size and then stick around that, say 400 to 500 kilobytes would be like a good place. If you have like an insanely large image or something, then I would say, yeah, don't upload those insane large images. Try to keep them around the 400 or 500, maybe even 1 megabyte would be actually pretty good. And again, Shopify will take care of compressing and resizing those for different devices. Something else that I actually learned recently when it comes to videos is it's technically better to load videos externally. So if your themes gives you an option to either put the link of the video from your files and content within Shopify, or it gives you the option to put in a YouTube link, it's actually recommended to do the YouTube or Vimeo link, as this actually reduces the page weight overall. Let me see if this theme has that option so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see here, if we do a video hero section, we have the ability to do a Shopify hosted video. And then that's just a video that's going to be in my contents folder here in Shopify. Or it gives me the option to embed a video from the URL. And these are usually on, like I said, YouTube or Vimeo or similar. And then this gives you all the additional settings. So again, it's technically better for SEO purposes and for speed purposes to actually use the embed from URL. And then when it comes to speed, Shopify does give you a snapshot, I would say, of all the traffic that's coming in, but it's also summarizing all of your pages. It's all mixed in within there. So it's very hard to kind of pinpoint what's wrong with your site speed overall. But they do give you the LCP and then INP and then the cumulative layout shift right here as like a very quick snapshot for you to see. And once you actually click on them, you get a little bit more data and a little bit more information for the full report. Before they actually gave you some best practices and things to do, but now they just kind of keep it as like, it's just a very simple report that we're going to give you. The bad thing about this, again, is they're doing a summary of almost every single page with actual traffic coming in. So my recommendation is going to PageSpeed Insights by Google and then inserting here specific links and things that you're already testing out. So let's say we just added that video into maybe a product page, just like as a feature video about the company that we have just listed right there. Run a speed report on that particular page and see how quickly or how slowly your website is being affected from that video. Remove that video, put the link in here again, redo the test. This is the best way that I can tell you on whether or not something is actually affecting the overall speed on your website. A lot of people ask me like, oh, is this app going to affect my speed, my conversion? Like, run a test, like enable it, run the test, get rid of it, run the test, and just see them side by side, and you'll get a very good idea on whether or not that particular app or that particular section or if that video is too big or too small for that page. Real quick, if your Shopify store is stressing you out or just not performing like it should, I got something for you. It's called Fix My Shopify. It's a one-on-one website optimization session with me, whether you're just launching or just already doing 50K a month. I'll personally walk you through your store with you and help you simplify, streamline, optimize everything. There's no fluff, just real fixes in real time. Check the link in the description. Now, the next thing that you can fix is on-page SEO. We're talking about titles, headings, URLs, right? Why this actually matters. So title tags and headings actually tell Google what your page is all about. And subtle tweaks can actually drive 5 to 15% more traffic. So things that I want you to do right now, just a little bit of keyword research, right? Use the free Search Console data, or you can actually use Ubersuggest to find long tail purchase ready keywords, right? So let's go and jump into that real quick. We go to Ubersuggest. This is by Neil Patel, absolute monster when it comes to SEO. Let's go ahead and put some keywords in here. We were talking about the men's linen shirt earlier. So let's do that within the US. Okay, so search volume 22,000 is high, which is good. Difficulty is about halfway through, which is great. Those are all good things that we want to see there. Now, what I want to really look into here is the keyword ideas, right? So we have men's linen shirts in white and black, 100 linen men's shirt in blue and pink. We have questions in here: how to wear linen shirt with a suit, where to buy linen shirts, men's linen tops. So what this really gives you is that particular set of keywords with what we consider long tail, right? Where they're adding 1 or 2 keywords either before or after our main central keywords. And this should give you some ideas on either content to create. So from this, you can actually create blog post content on your website, or this should give you some ideas on things that you can incorporate potentially. I mean, you already should have a men's linen collection page on your website, right? So then this means that maybe we can add an FAQ section at the bottom of my collection page that will have questions like, will men's linen shirts shrink? How to wear a men's linen shirt, right? Like, all these questions are already getting traffic because Ubersuggest is telling us like there is a volume, right, of people asking those questions on Google. Something else that you could do very easily too is go to Google and just type in that specific question, right? Like, how to style linen shirt. And something that we've done in the past too is this section right here, people also ask. Once you actually click on it, it will give you, it keeps adding more and more questions in here. So I would say click it a few more times, and this automatically will generate questions that people are actually asking about that particular product. So very easily, you can grab the top 10 questions in here that people are actually searching for around that keyword and add that as an FAQ section right there within that collection. This is a very easy way to, one, add actual more content, more keywords to your website, and actually be helpful for some customers and potentially rank right for these questions, because these are questions that people are actually asking. And once when you click on it, then it will give you some information on here. I would not say copy exactly the answer that they give you here. Come up with your own twist, insert some of your links like we talked about earlier, and truly create it your own and truly make it something where the customer will actually benefit from having these questions there towards the end of your collection page. When it comes to the URL, this is also very important. By default, Shopify does a pretty good job. So if I have this this product in here and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see search engine list. And in here, if you click edit, by default, the page title and the meta description, it's going to be automatically generated as well as the URL handle. They're all going to be automatically generated from the information that you put above. But if there are certain keywords, again, the long tail keywords that we were just talking about here, if it makes sense, right, to add it as part of the URL, to add it as part of the page title, to add it into the meta description, then these are the things that need to be updated right within here. Now, something else to consider when it comes to page title, meta descriptions, URL handles, obviously what we're wanting to do here is insert some of these keywords into these three sections right here. You have this as part of your product. So we're just looking at an example for a product, but this is also available for your collection page. So this collection page is the bestsellers ones, and it's absolutely horrible because all we typed in here is bestsellers, and then down here in the search engine listing, as you can see, it's lacking pretty much everything that we would want in here. So don't ignore your collection pages. Don't ignore your other pages. So your about, your FAQ, all those pages need those additional keywords as part of the title, the meta description, and the URL handle. And this is something that people tend to forget about because by default, Shopify just does it automatically for your products, which it does a pretty good job on products, I would say. But when it comes to other pages, it will be completely blank like this, and it will be very helpful. Hold up just 1 second before we move on to number 4, which is backlinks. I'll give you that. I just wanted to say, if you are a clothing brand owner and you want to jump into the specifics of your clothing brand, how to grow it profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so go find a time right now in the description below. So backlinks and internal linking strategy, again, why this matters. Backlinks is the backbone of SEO. Yeah, it remains just a top ranking factor, right? It's like how many people are actually talking about your brand out there and how many quality people are talking about your brand out there. So like the average e-commerce site ranks for like 1,700 keywords or so and gets like about maybe 9,000 organic visits. And in order to expand on that beyond what you have right now is getting other people who are already looking at other websites to come to your website. So we're not just using Google as the place to get all the traffic from. We also want Joe's blog and we want Franklin's LinkedIn page to link back to our website. So how can we do this, and what can we do here? And again, we're not relying on any apps or anything, but I mean, it's not easy. It takes a lot of time, but you could do a guest post outreach. Now you can identify 10 to 20 niche blogs out there, or again, not necessarily just blogs, but people out there, resources, people within your space who are talking about the things that you're talking about, and reach out. Hey, I love the video that you created on the linen outfits. I got a related product or maybe a tutorial that I wanted to, talk about, this new way of preventing wrinkles on your linen shirts. Like, could we contribute, and create either a video together or a blog post together or a YouTube video? Like I said video twice, but you get the idea, right? It's identifying people who are already talking about these things, give them a new solution or sort of a remix of a way for them to create that type of content again, and including some kind of contextual link back to your men's linen shirt. And obviously we talked about this too in our channel, which is just reaching out to influencers and to create some of that user-generated content and to actually send, products for those people to actually review. Ask reviewers to link back to your store and post their product reviews, either on their websites, on the social media. This all works the exact same way, right? All we're trying to do is try to get people to talk about our website and link it so that they can find our website. And since we said no apps, then that means that you have to do all the hard work yourself and go out and research all this and send out emails. Obviously, there are alternatives out there that could potentially do it for you, but we're talking about going deep into the weeds here and getting to a point where you could potentially do these things yourself. The last thing that I could tell you about backlinks, and something that was a very big thing back in the day, now maybe not so much, but just making sure that you are in your typical directories or niche listings out there. You know, listing your website in any of these places just brings up the authority of the domain overall. So it may be that, I mean, nobody maybe watches or looks at Yelp anymore, I don't know, but you still want to be present, right, in some of these directories online. These, like I said, just add authority and visibility. So Google knows and sees that you're being listed on all these other websites, and it improves that overall authority and visibility, which is good. All right, lastly, all we want to do is make sure that you're tracking. So obviously, why this matters, SEO is a marathon, and you need to slowly build momentum. We briefly talked about, you know, adding keywords and fixing links and adding links within your content on your website. So what you really want to do here is make sure that you go to search.google.com, create a free account. This is the Google Search Console, and then insert your website in here and connect it, because this is going to give you the actual data that you need. The Google Search Console is going to give you search results. So just a very simple example here. We have the top queries for this brand in here. Obviously, a lot of the top queries are going to be the name of the brand, that's fine. But after that, you'll see other things like pajamas and online shopping and Toronto. And is this place legit? These are all great search result suggestions that you're already getting impressions. You're already getting clicks to these particular keywords. So expand on that. Create more content based off of this. So absolutely, if you are doing SEO and you don't have the Google Search Console set up, then this is something that needs to happen right away. Now, if you've never done this before, you just basically put in your URL in here within the Google Search Console, and it will just make you verify the domain. They want to make sure that you own that particular domain that you're inserting there. So for the majority of you, you will see a notification like this where it will verify via domain. So for us, it's GoDaddy. So we'll have to go to GoDaddy and add just a little piece of record in there in order to start that verification. It's pretty straightforward, but it's going to be slightly different from person to person, but this will walk you through that entire process. All right, so no apps and no other help. I mean, obviously we talked about Ubersuggest and Google Search Console, but they're not official, you know, Shopify apps that are out there, but these are the things that you can start getting started on your store if you haven't done anything with SEO. SEO, I think it's very important, but again, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a quick race. It's something that takes time and effort in order to get just right. And to be honest, monitoring the situation is the very first step and the first thing that I would implore you to do, which is the last thing that we did on this video, but yeah, it's the first thing that I would want you to do. All right, if you have any questions, as always, you can ask them down below. Let me know what questions you have, and if you want a part 2 on SEO, can we dive deeper? Can we dive deeper into maybe keyword research or some of these other topics that we talked about in this video? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.